Hello, and welcome
Hello.
back to Sinister Sisters. Today it is Thursday, and it is True Crime Thursday this week, because I, Shrimp, your True Crime Tuesday host, was sick. Still am sick.
Yes.
Which is why we're late with the episode, and also why I sound like I am speaking from under the water.
Under the sea.
Hello, help me. I am under the water.
We're in here like a pack of sardines.
We cannot escape. We cannot come out. Mama! Anyways.
Anyway.
As I said, I am Shrimp, and I do true crime every week. Usually on Tuesday, but that's a little sporadic now anyways.
Yeah, it's fine. It's close enough.
Wait, let me say this, and then you can introduce yourself.
Okay.
Thank fuck there's 2 days in the week that begin with T.
Correct.
This right here is my personal sister.
I'm Kat. I am the Soapbox Sunday host. Also, thankfully, 2 S's in the week, in case that goes off the rails. But last
we picked pretty well.
We did. Last week I was able to do the episode alone, which was awkward, because there was no one to look at while I was talking. It was just me looking at my camera. And I don't know how to make appropriate amounts of eye contact, so I think part of me was doing this the whole time, and part of me was looking down the whole time. There was no in between. Anyway.
Love that.
Yeah, so come back on Sunday for a fun episode. Try to keep those episodes a little bit more light and flirty, because that's just who I am as a person.
Have you seen that picture of those 2 ladies? And one of them has like black hair and black eyebrows and is goth, and the other one's like got rainbow dyed hair and is wearing like a pink sweater. That's us. I'm the goth one.
We're Wednesday and Enid.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's strictly true, but kind of.
I guess it depends on who is the like on the receiving end of it. If it's someone that I like, then they're fine. But if it's like a stranger, I'm like, stop talking to me. Don't come anywhere near me. And when you try to hug me,
every time I see Shrimp and I try to hug her, she just does this.
I don't hug unless your generic boy name. He gets many.
He's a slut.
Telling him you said that.
Well, he can hear it because he listens.
He
like
does.
The supportive man that he is.
Yeah, unlike Skinny Boy.
Skinny Boy hates podcasts. He does not like listening to other people talk. Only himself.
Honestly, valid.
Just kidding. That's actually a bit savage.
Why is he dating you then?
He doesn't really like to talk at all, actually. He's
also
pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, as I was trying to say, this season's like
theme.
What is it called? Theme. And like the name is Devious Duos. So today we are talking about the murder of Adrianne Jones by a couple named David Graham and Diane Zamora.
Okay.
Have you heard about this case before?
I have not. This one's fresh to me.
We love it when they're fresh.
They're like all fresh. I've heard of like 2 of the cases you've done ever, so
right, and they're like the really common ones too, like Fred and Rose West.
I've heard of Ted Bundy. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, before we get into the murder, please follow us on Instagram at sinistersisters.podcast and TikTok at Sinister Sisters Podcast, on YouTube at Sinister Sisters Podcast, and email us at sinistersisterspod@gmail.com.
All of those will be linked below if you don't have a brain that works at supersonic speed and did not hear a word she just said.
I speedrun.
A speedrun.
I speedrun through life. Nothing is happening at any sort of slow speed. other than my thought process,
Your
apparently.
thought process, your driving,
I drive the speed limit.
which is slow.
You're slow. Anyways,
Anyways,
let's get into
let's
it.
get it, bitch.
Diane Zamora was born January
Wait,
21st.
do you have content warnings?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the content warnings for this episode include domestic violence, murder, a little bit of religion, and a little bit of militariness.
Not the
We don't
military-industrial complex.
the military-industrial complex of America, even. So, I don't know. They're just both
Shocking.
in the military, so
Yeah,
just
which can be a bit triggering, for sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
Thanks.
Diane Zamora, who was born January 21st in 1978, was the oldest child, and her parents were an electrician and a nurse, and she was a member of the National Honor Society and belonged to several clubs at her school. I should preface this that excuse me, because this was the 70s, we don't really know very much about their childhood before, like, again, there's no social media. We go through this every time a case happens that is not in
Every
the, like,
time.
2010s. She belonged to several clubs at her school and, yeah, was in the National Honor Society and was just kind of generally like a regular person. At the time that she graduated high school, she was scheduled to attend the Naval Academy in Annapolis. What is MD? Minnesota.
Probably. MD.
In medical doctor.
Maryland.
Maryland? Okay. In
Maryland?
Annapolis.
Maryland, I think you say that. Not
Maryland?
Maryland.
Zamora was raised by a very religious family, and she was reportedly known as being a person who kept to herself while in high school. She devoted herself to her studies and was very careful about who she dated or associated herself with the exception of David Graham, who we'll get to in a minute. Zamora found most high school boys immature, apparently, which
Checks
vibe
out.
because they are.
They are.
But
Silly
also,
boys.
she was in high school too, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently, she was viewed by teachers and former classmates as not unfriendly, but she wasn't like well known or well liked or anything. She didn't really stand out to anybody, which is sad because
Yeah.
same. Anyways, David Graham, who was the youngest of 4 children, was described by his friends and neighbors in Mansfield, Texas, as a perfect gentleman who always said yes, sir, and no, sir when he addressed people. Probably also said no, sir, and yes, ma'am, you know.
Probably.
Yeah, anyways.
Hopefully.
Graham's parents were both former teachers, and so he excelled in academics, ran on the Mansfield High School track team, and was a battalion commander in his high school's junior ROTC program. I don't know what that is either.
It's like cadets, I think.
So basically, he kept his hair really, like, cut short, and he was also had this, like, it's described as a business-like demeanor. So people just pretty much assumed that he was going to go into the military. He was destined for it.
Okay.
And, spoiler, but by the time they were arrested, he had just started service at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. So, Graham and Zamora began dating in August of 1995, and only about a month later, they announced their engagement to their families. Graham and Zamora planned to marry each other in the year 2000, shortly after their scheduled graduations from their respective military academies. Some friends and relatives, however, thought that Graham and Zamora had an unhealthy obsession with one another, which unfortunately did pan out to be true. Some claimed that Zamora was overly possessive of Graham, and she allegedly made him quit a couple of jobs because she complained that they were interfering with their relationship.
That is like a full-on high school relationship vibe, though, to be fair.
This is after high school, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, because they're about to graduate from their military academies.
never mind then.
Yeah.
She got a chip.
It's also really funny, like, you don't spend enough time with me. Like, you should quit your job. Like,
Yeah.
okay. I'd love
I mean,
to.
I get it. Like, it is hard to be like dating someone when your schedules don't line up, but also a bitch gotta pay her bills.
Yeah,
And
right.
so, you know,
You gotta do what you gotta do.
is what it is.
Apparently, also, she basically requested that he live his life solely for her and kind of make her the focus of everything. And even her family has publicly said that she was so completely in love with him that she could barely have a conversation without mentioning him. I put that in air quotes because I don't necessarily know if being completely obsessed that you can't, like, have a conversation without mentioning your significant other is being in love or being, like...
Yeah, it's like a codependent relationship.
Yeah, that's the word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Allegedly, she told her friends that her bond with Graham was pure and not an ordinary love. So that's those two.
Okay.
In love. Very cringy. They were probably the type of people that, well, I mean, if it existed when they were together, but that they would write on each other's Facebook wall, "I love you, baby.
I miss you.
I saw you 12 minutes ago, but I miss you so bad." On the other player in this story is called Adrianne Jones, and she was nicknamed AJ by her family. And she was a popular sophomore at Graham's school in Mansfield High School. Sorry. I just realized that they would have been in high school. They got engaged when they were in high school.
Fishy.
Not really like the vibe.
Who would date someone in high school?
I mean, dating someone in high school is fine, but like getting engaged?
Yeah.
You're like under 18. Whatever though. We don't
You
judge
can't even, like...
here on Sinister Sisters. But also they did know each other for like a month before they got engaged.
This is just a recipe for disaster, essentially.
Yeah. Because they're young, they haven't known each other for very long. And at least one of them is controlling, so.
Yeah. Ooh. Sounds like every high school relationship ever.
Yeah, well, I hope not.
Well, I feel like a lot of people that I went to high school with who were in relationships were kind of like that. Like
Ew.
lots of drama.
Were
I mean,
you
not
like...
not a yeah, remember when I thought Skinny Boy's best friend was gay? I was trying to steal him from me.
And you held that vendetta for like a year, didn't you?
Yep. Also,
I love that. Also?
hey man, I said also, like
Oh,
a year or
yes.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool. We live together now, so.
Anyway, so AJ also studied really hard in school, like Zamora, but she was a socialite. So, she had lots of friends, and she was remembered as having a great spirit. And, you know, one teacher even told a local newspaper that she could have envisioned Jones on the school's cheerleading squad.
Okay.
That means everything. Like, that speaks volumes to the amount of cheer and spirit this girl had for life.
Pep.
According to reports, Joan. I'm struggling. According to reports, Jones was known for spending hours putting on makeup before she would go out to events. Apparently, her mum sometimes would call her bubble butt because of the way her butt looked when she walked. One close friend of hers remembered her as a big flirt.
Okay.
Perhaps because of her good looks and her outgoing personality, or because she was a woman and being a woman means you are inherently in danger at all times, Jones's parents made her adhere to strict house rules. Reportedly, they did not allow her to talk on the phone past 10 p.m., and if she went to movies, her father was known to ask her to produce the ticket stub as evidence, and only shortly before her murder was she even allowed to stay out past 9 o'clock on weekends.
Wow.
Friends and acquaintances have said that she was not really a rebel or promiscuous or was doing anything that would like cause this reaction from her parents. They were just really overly protective, and they just wanted to make sure that she was safe, which,
Yeah.
how dare they? That's sarcasm, by the way.
Yeah. /S.
You're right. AJ and David Graham were teammates on Mansfield's cross-country track team. They
Okay.
became friends, apparently, or acquaintances that would chat, but nobody really expected that there was an attraction between them. Track teammates thought that AJ, who was a popular sophomore, and Graham, who was bound for the military and a senior at the time, were only casual acquaintances, and
Yeah.
AJ didn't even keep Graham's phone number in her address book. Address books. So quaint.
So cute.
Apparently, during a track meet on the first weekend of November in 1995, Graham and AJ apparently became more than casual acquaintances. For clarification, David Graham is dating Diane Zamora at this time.
Right.
No one knows really how they, how this came to be, that they were even talking. No one remembers seeing them talk, but apparently, when the track team returned to Mansfield on November 4th, Jones allegedly asked Graham to drive her home.
Okay.
Apparently, they did not go directly to her house. This is what Graham had told Diane originally, that they did not go directly to her house, and during the ride, he parked behind an elementary school, allegedly at Jones's request, and they hooked up.
What a strange place to hook up.
Actually, fun fact, if you are hooking up anywhere that children are likely to be present, like an elementary school or a public park, and you are caught, you do get a record. You are a sex offender at that point.
Yeah. It's not worth it.
Take your fandangling somewhere else.
Take your fandangling to the Walmart parking lot.
Yeah. Or, I don't know.
Or your
spring
house.
for a hotel, buddy. You don't have to do it in the car.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if I'm entirely coherent today, so I want to clarify that is the story that Graham told Diane Zamora to apparently make her jealous. And it's now apparently known that none of that ever happened. He made it up.
Okay.
But then later on, apparently he was guilt-ridden about it. So he told her about the one-night stand. So we don't actually really know what happened, because how could we? We don't know if they actually had a tryst or not. But Diane Zamora definitely believed that they did. And that's important to know. It's more important to know if they actually did or if they didn't. The most important fact is that Diane Zamora believes that her boyfriend had been sleeping with this young girl.
Right.
So, when he told her, she apparently was enraged and felt like she'd been betrayed, deceived, and forgotten, which, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Allegedly, Diane believed the only way Graham could prove his love for her and atone for his moment of weakness was to kill AJ. So, around 10:30 p.m. on December 3rd in 1995, David Graham called Adrianne Jones and arranged a date. Unbeknownst to her parents, Jones snuck out of the house late that night to go out with Graham, who picked her up outside. Prosecutors say that Graham then drove to a deserted road near Grand Prairie, Texas. Zamora was hiding in the trunk of the car. According to the reports, the original plan for this murder was that Diane would come up behind a seated Jones and snap her neck. Graham would help her dump the body in a nearby lake, and they had planned to tie weights to her body so that it would sink to the bottom of the lake. However, things did not go as planned, yes?
I was just gonna say I don't think it's that easy to snap someone's
No,
neck.
it's absolutely not that easy to snap someone's
So
neck. Like, contrary to movies and stuff where they're like, I'm
like I think you can do that, but you have to be really, really strong.
yeah, and also I think you'd have to get it like in the right place.
Yes.
Like so if the person's like, if you've never done it before and the person's like fighting and whatever, I think that would make it difficult too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you would have to break like the neck at the top. Because
Yeah.
not like a lot of neck breaks aren't actually even fatal.
Yeah.
Like Granddad broke his neck one time
Oh? Which
in
one?
America.
Mum's?
Sinister Mum's dead.
Oh. Sinister Granddad. Yeah, so things didn't go as planned because apparently when Diane grabbed her, she obviously started to fight. Like AJ started to fight. She's sitting in a car. She thinks she's on a date, and this random lady is in the back, like grabbing her. Apparently, Graham tried to snap her neck by turning it as it's done in the movies, but found it to be ineffective. Like, yeah, because it's real life, not a Steven Spielberg. Zamora then hit Jones in the head with the dumbbells that they had brought to tie her down with. Yeah. But she somehow, AJ, managed to get out of her car and start to run away. So, according to his confession, Zamora then told Graham that he couldn't let AJ get away. So Graham took his gun, tracked AJ down in the field, and shot her twice in the head. The second shot was at point-blank range, directly between the eyes.
Fuck.
So, like, that is nothing but murder.
Yeah.
Like, you can't argue that that's anything but murder, because point-blank is, like touching the skin, right?
Yeah. Wow. What a horrible last few moments of life.
Yeah. Very sad. Apparently, when he returned to the car, he and Zamora exchanged I love yous and, canoodled over there. Whatever. Apparently, then, she told him, "We shouldn't have done that, David."
No shit.
"Why'd you do it then, Diane? What you up to?" They then disposed of their bloody clothes and went home.
Why would you do the thing and then be like, hold on a minute, this isn't a very good idea, is it?
We shouldn't have done that. That was not very smart.
Fucking
no fucking shit,
dude.
Diane.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I was a teenager at one point and I probably wouldn't have murdered someone.
No, but I feel like that, complete, you do something and then immediately after you're like, oh shit, is kind of a teenager thing.
Yeah.
You scream at your mother and call her a bitch. And then you're like, oh.
Shrimp has never done that.
You feed and you clothe and you, sorry, mummy.
Sorry, mum. I was a problem teenager.
Yeah.
Anyways, AJ's body was then discovered the next day by a farmer who owned the land where her body was found. So they were just kind of vibing, whatever. Unfortunately, Adrianne was dead, but there was the funeral and she was very well liked, so there was a lot of people that turned up for her. And then it was 9 months after her murder that the investigators got a tip from one of Diane's Annapolis classmates. So they were trying to figure this out for 9 months, and basically were just hitting a bunch of walls. They couldn't, there was no I guess also this is the 90s, so DNA testing and things like that is still quite infant. It is still in somewhat of an infancy, it's come away since like the 80s, but it's not what it is today.
And if you're a teenager, you wouldn't be in the bank anyway. So
True.
It wouldn't really matter.
Right, but I mean, like, there was no evidence left at the scene that they could then test. Like, they couldn't find any, like, hair or whatever. Anyway, so according to this informant, Diane had admitted that she and David had murdered Adrianne after David had confessed that he slept with her. In September of 1996, both of them were arrested and charged with their murder. They were given separate trials, and the young lovers ended up turning on each other and said that the killing had been the other's idea. And thankfully, neither defense worked, and both were found guilty and given life sentences. And they won't be eligible for parole until 2036.
Wow.
After sentencing, Diane was transferred from a jail in Fort Worth, Texas, to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. She was initially held in a state prison diagnostic unit in Gatesville, and then she went to something called the Murray unit. At one point, she was held in protective custody, but later moved to the general prison population in the William P. Hobby unit near Marlin, Texas. In June of 2003, Zamora married another inmate from the Texas penitentiary named Stephen Mora, and they were divorced by 2010.
I don't understand how you can get married and then divorced in prison. Like,
I don't know.
Focus on yourself, my dude.
I know. But I guess you've got nothing else to do, so you can focus on yourself, like, Monday through Friday, and then get married on Saturday.
True. It's just, also, I thought that they kept men and women separate in prison, usually.
Me too. But I wonder if they...
Maybe not.
I don't know. That is weird.
Maybe I think sometimes prisons have like a men's and a women's unit. Maybe they do like some prison socials, prison prom, you know?
Oh no. So she asked to be moved back to this Mountain View unit, so that she basically could be kept in safekeeping. It's because she didn't want to be in the general population. She reasoned that the high-profile nature of her case required her to be kept safe or whatever, and the federal appeals court rejected it. But apparently she is back in protective custody at Mountain View today, so... Graham is held was held at the Ellis unit near Huntsville after the trial, and in 2008 he said that his confession to the police was correct and expressed remorse for killing AJ. He also said that he had to do it. He also said that if he had to do it over again, he would have pled guilty to murder. And as of 2018, he's being held at the All Red unit in Wichita Falls. He is currently enrolled at Southwest Baptist Theological Seminary's inmate seminary in order to become a pastor.
Interesting.
That murderer to pastor pipeline is strong.
I was going to say the military to pastor pipeline.
Yeah, that too. Military to murderer to pastor.
Interesting. It's a horrible story.
Yeah. It's just gross. And so senseless. Like...
Yeah.
Not like... Like, even if your boyfriend does sleep with some other girl and cheats on you, like, it sucks. I've been there. But, like, you don't need to kill her.
And it's also not her fault. 9 times out of 10, she doesn't know. And she's also not in the relationship with you. So it's not her responsibility.
Even if she does know, like, she didn't make a commitment to you.
Yeah.
Like, never mind. I was going to say, kill your boyfriend. That makes sense, but don't do that. That's illegal.
Don't do that. Don't kill anybody. Go to therapy.
Yeah. Break up with his scummy bottom. Kick him in the teeth, maybe a little bit.
Just slightly.
And then move on and thrive and flourish and marry some other person that treats you nicely.
Buys you flowers.
Paints your
Sings your songs in the
toenails.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eats the olives when you don't like them.
The olive theory.
You've got to find your personal pickle eater. I don't like pickles because I don't like dill. Like, garlic pickles are fine, but dill pickles, ew.
I hate that about you, that you don't like dill. Because dill is the ultimate best spice.
So
That-
generic boy name eats my pickles.
Yeah. That
Mhm.
is in How I Met Your Mother. You've
I
never
know.
seen that, right?
No, but I've seen about the olive theory.
The olive theory. But then it turns out to be false. Because
He didn't actually like the olives, right? He just pretended to or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the olive theory still works then. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because if
because
someone's willing to eat olives for you,
yeah.
then it's true love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because olives are gross.
Oh, I like olives.
Ugh.
I'm the olive one. Skinny boy is the oliveless one.
Honestly, that's the only thing I like about him. It's funny because I'll never hear that.
Wow.
It was
That's
really
savage.
funny because me and Kat, we are our only siblings. We don't have any other siblings. And those two started canoodling when you were like 15, right?
Yeah.
And I was like 12 or something. And
Yep.
we're going into our life story right now, but like it's just the four of us. It's the Sinister sisters and then the Sinister parents in Canada, and then everyone else is somewhere else. Doxing. And so it was like the four of us doing shit together. Then all of a sudden there was a skinny boy, and I was like, oh. And I didn't like him because he took my sister.
Aww.
But I guess he's pretty cool now. I have my own personal one, and he's not skinny. And he's tall. Beautiful. Anyways,
Beautiful.
actually,
We should
if
have,
I was gonna say, if it was 2012, I would be the person that would write on generic boy names Facebook wall. I love you. I miss you. It would be me.
yeah, I can see that.
Just for that one specific man. Other men, that man.
Yes. Well, friends, thank you for listening to our life story and also
Yes.
this murder story.
Yes.
We'll be back on Sunday for something. I'm not sure what yet, but we'll be here. And so you can catch us then. And then we'll be back next Tuesday for another true crime episode. And hopefully Shrimp will be less mucusy.
More coherent, less mucusy.
But we'll see.
This has
No.
been over a week now.
And you're not that kind of coherent usually anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, actually, since I've started taking meds, much more coherent. We
good.
can talk about that after, because I think that
Yes.
would be a good episode.
I agree. I was
Yeah.
just going to say that. Okay, bye!
Cliffhanger!